Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachalini Nivasisha Sunyavhadi Ashtatha Dasatarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Yes, it's by Sanatana Goswami with a commentary by Sanatana Goswami as well, with additions and translation given by His Grace Gopi Puranadana. So wonderful service to the Vaishnava community to translate this jewel of Vaishnava scriptures, Brihat Bhagavatamrta. So let me share the screen. I have it here. Now, context. I didn't have time. I was otherwise distracted just before we opened up today. But as far as I can remember, the context is that there's a comparison is being made of Vaikuntha to Goloka. In other words, the worship in Vaikuntha, where Lord Narayan resides, is love, but as mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, crippled by a sense of awe and reverence. So the love of Goloka is being now explained by Sanatana Goswami, and this is before, as far as I can understand, Gopal Kumar hasn't gone there yet. He's just hearing about it, unless I am mistaken. And I think it's Narada Muni who is explaining to him, or is it Uddhava? Anyone can clarify that?
Narada Muni. Yes.
Narada Muni. Okay, thank you. Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I've got this book. I don't know what page. The 108 text is.
Yeah, now
the complete text. No?
Yeah, I mean, I've got the soft copy on the computer, so the pages don't correlate with the pages on the hard copy.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna have to search it out a bit. It's right at the end.
Is it chapter 7? The Purna, the complete perfection? No,
I think so.
We got a hard copy.
I've got the hard copy. I was
Yes.
at this, and
Part 2, Glories of Golok, concluded.
okay, Glories of Golok.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done. Thank you, my brother. Because part 2, Glories of Golok.
And
So
the page is 101.
okay.
Yeah, text 108 we're beginning on today.
Okay. Yeah, let me just. If I can't, then I'll just follow it on the screen. So don't worry. Okay. Thank you.
Good luck. Hare Krishna. All
No,
right.
this is totally different. Okay, no problem.
All right. I can't see any hands up yet to read. If anyone would like to read, you can go ahead.
I can read.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, thank you.
No one can describe the glories of his beauty, but still I shall speak about them as far as I am able. His beauty amazes even him. Seeing him, the cows, birds, bushes, creepers, and tree all became ecstatic. Commentary. Beauty is next in the list of Supreme Lord's opulence in Gokul. In text 108 through 111, Narad speaks of that beauty because the beauty Krishna showed during his appearance in Vrindavan had never before been seen in this world. No one was able to explain it in terms of previous experience. Uddhav describes that astounding beauty in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 3-12. Lord Krishna in his eternal form, just suitable for his pastimes, appeared in the mortal world by his internal potency, Yogamaya. His pastimes were wonderful for everyone. Sorry?
Carry on.
Even for those proud of their own opulence, including Krishna himself, in his form as the Lord of Vaikuntha. Thus, Sri Krishna's transcendental body is the ornament of all ornaments. Upon seeing Krishna, the moving and non-moving creatures of Vrindavan would show the symptoms of prem, including the sattvic ecstasies of horribildation, floods of tears, and so on. As the young gopis told Krishna at the beginning of their Rasa Lila, "Dear Krishna, what woman in all the three worlds wouldn't deviate from religious behavior when bewildered by the sweet drawn-out melody of your flute? Your beauty makes all three worlds auspicious. Indeed, even the cows, birds, trees, and deer manifest in ecstatic symptom of bodily hair standing on end when they see your beautiful form." Bhagavatam 10:29-40.
All right, so those who just joined for this and the next few verses going to be focused on Krishna's beauty. So, yes, I was going to say something, but just, yeah, it's the type of, when we see something beautiful, so-called beautiful in this world, then we're thinking of what it can do for us, whether it's the form of the opposite sex or it's something to eat or whatever it is. But the nature of being overwhelmed with Krishna's beauty, that it manifests as a selfless attachment for pleasing or giving pleasure to Krishna, without consideration of one's own, one's own personal satisfaction. And difficult to put it into words exactly because I don't have a first-hand experience. But we can see that the gopis, this is 5,000 years ago, so they're very shy and they're very chaste. And I just listened to my Guru Maharaj, who was just mentioning that in those days, women didn't have, or girls and women didn't have men as friends. It wasn't as if they just would not communicate or would not associate or would not speak with each other. Yeah, I remember even sorry, going off the track a little bit, but that was reminding me of one lecture I heard that Prabhupada gave. He was trying to explain, this was in the early days in 26 Second Avenue. And he was speaking about this concept of girlfriend. And he said, so here in America, well, here you have something called girlfriend. In India, we call that prostitute. You never call that prostitute. So it's such a different setting, such a different society. Anyway, point I'm making here is that Krishna, by his flute playing, by his beauty, completely bewildered these very cultured and very chaste women and ladies of Raj, that they immediately wanted to be with him. Anyway, Hare Krishna. Quick, let's read on.
Text 109. My dear boy, in beauty, character, virtues, and behavior, the women of Vraj excelled even the supreme goddess of fortune. All women of respectable families worship their feet. Yet even so, Krishna's beauty robbed the women of Vraj of their sobriety. Commentary: to inspire Gopakumar to listen carefully to this important narration, Narad here uses the affectionate word, Tat, my dear boy. Krishna's beauty shook the gopis' determination to uphold their religious principles, but not because the gopis were simply women, who by nature are supposedly unsteady. The gopis of Braj are reputable, cultured ladies in a respectable society, so they are not inclined to careless behavior. They were equal to Lakshmi, the best of women, and even better. They were more beautiful and more sublime in their gravity and shyness. They were more capable of making proper decisions, maintaining firm determination, and expertly dealing with all kinds of situations. And they were more competent in the various activities of worshipping their beloved. Narad therefore uses the interjection, hanta, needed. Indeed, hanta is indeed, to express his surprise and delight.
Right, so Sanatana Goswami is elaborating on just exactly what we were saying, but in a much better way. Yeah, very cultured ladies. Go on.
Okay, text 110. Seeing his beauty, people would curse Brahma, the creator of eyelids, and praise Indra, who has 1,000 eyes, and hanker for all their senses to become eyes. What extraordinary status would anyone not attain upon seeing his beauty? Commentary. Sri Gopaladev's beauty not only stole the sobriety of the gopis, his dearmost girlfriends, but also drove other people to extraordinary states of consciousness. The Vrajvasis cursed Brahma for creating lids on their eyes that made it more difficult to see Krishna constantly. And even though Indra had committed many offenses against Krishna and was deformed because of Gautam Rishi's curse, the Vrajvasis glorified him, for they admired his having 1,000 eyes on his body, eyes with which he could enjoy seeing Krishna that much more. The Vrajvasis prayed that all their own senses change into eyes, so that with those eyes they could see Krishna even more, and no competing senses would distract their eyes from the sight of Krishna's beauty. Text 111. How can I describe the greatness of the land of Braj, where the personality of Godhead displayed his own beautiful form? He may possess the same transcendental nature everywhere, but even in his company, the devotees in other places don't feel the same ecstasy. Commentary. The beauty Sri Krishna displays in Vrajbhumi is never seen anywhere else. No matter where he goes, his transcendental nature is changeless, and he is always the same person. But devotees in other places like Vaikuntha and Dwarka do not taste from seeing him and being with him the same exquisite feelings of love as the Vrajvasis. Thus, we should understand that the personality of Godhead reveals selected aspects of his special greatness in particular times and places, and Vrajbhumi is supremely glorious. For one reason or another, Krishna chooses in some instance to show his eternal glories, and in others to allow his personal energies to conceal them. Narad's sentiment to this effect was closely paralleled by the words Gop Kumar had earlier heard on Janalok from Pipalayan Rishi. The Supreme Lord by nature, the bestower of ecstasy, creates such unlikely situations to delight his devotees by showing them the greatness of the devotional service. Brihat Bhagavatamrta 2:100. Narad has now concluded his description of Krishna's special beauty in Vrindavan.
Okay, any questions or comments on this?
Well, Krishna is the same, whether he's in Vrindavan or Dwarka or Vaikuntha.
No, that's what's being said here.
Mm.
He is, but at the same time he is not. Just for this, for example, when the gopis met Krishna at Kurukshetra, Krishna was there, but he wasn't there in Vrindavan. And the gopis were missing that, and they were wanting that. This is not the same, not the same. It's Krishna, but his beauty is fully, completely manifest in Vrndavana. That's what it said here. So it's there at Kurukshetra, they were praying for Krishna to come back to Vrndavana. As though Krishna was there, because in Vrndavana he exhibits the exceptional sweetness which cannot be compared to Krishna being anywhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, so here it's being explained. Yeah, it's the same Krishna, but he's manifesting his sweetness and beauty to different degrees. And the highest place it's manifest and the sweetest and the most is in where his heart is, which is in Vrndavana. So he maddens all the residents of Vrndavana with his beauty. Yeah, so even when, as we know, when Krishna was, for instance, when he entered the wrestling arena, then all the different, those who were in attendance there, they all saw him in different ways, according to their specific devotion, stroke undevotion, stroke adhikar. They would see him in different ways. So, yeah, so also, for example, Krishna was present before Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, Shishapal, etc. But they couldn't see the same Krishna that Narad could see, or the same Krishna that Yudhisthira could see.
Yes, thank
And
you.
Yudhisthira can't see the same Krishna that the Gopas see. And Narada Muni can't see the same Krishna that Radharani sees. Because Krishna manifesting according to their love. And those who have the most love, that's when Krishna manifests the most beauty. So just like we all see, just like when we come to the temple, we all see the deity. Everyone's seeing something different. Everyone's seeing, well, they're seeing the same Krishna, but we see from the heart. So depending on that, particularly devotion and the advancement and appreciation of Krishna, we're going to be seeing him in different ways. Yeah, so.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Right. Any other comments on that or questions?
Prabhu, can I please ask you one question?
You can,
In the text 1110, it says
Here, let me go back.
something. Yeah, 110.
Yeah, here. Seeing his
It says
beauty.
that Indra had 1,000 eyes, and then Gautam Rishi had given him a curse. Can you explain that a bit? Because I found that very strange.
All right. I was hoping, okay, I'll try and give a censored version of it. I think
Yeah,
some
because-
know this pastime.
Because I
think,
can't imagine what he must look like.
oh, Indra with 1,000 eyes.
Yes.
Well, we know why he got cursed, isn't it? Because he was lusting after whether it's Gautama Rishi's, I guess he's a Rishi, so he wouldn't have a wife, I'm not too sure. Anyone know that detail? He was lusting after one wife of someone.
Gautam Rishi was married to Ahalya.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so then he was probably, yeah, Lord Indra was lusting after Gautama Rishi's wife, it seems. So he is the wrong person to mess with. So Gautama Rishi cursed him. I don't know whether to say what he cursed him. I don't want to say it. But it was quite a heavy curse. And then you can find out yourself about that, exactly what the first curse was. But then he asked for mercy. Please have mercy upon me. So then Lord,
he cursed his wife as well.
Oh, he cursed his wife.
Yeah.
Really?
From stone, and when Lord Ram will touch his foot on that, she will get back to her.
So then Gautama Rishi cursed Indra because he was lusting after his wife with his eyes. So he caused him to have eyes all over his body.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah,
Right.
that explains it.
You
Yeah,
see,
okay.
sometimes you'll see pictures in our books of artists will give an artist's impression. You see, Indra, he's got his body's full of eyes, you know.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
All right. So that's the
Yeah,
story.
thank
That's the censored part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes it makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
All right. So where was we? We was here, wasn't it? We just finished 111. Okay. So would someone else like to read on? Yeah.
I can read. I
Go
can
ahead.
read.
Yeah. Thank you, Mother.
112, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever age he appears to be, he always maintains the special charm of childhood. He accepts service from the pastimes of mature youth, and he also partakes of the attractiveness of adolescence. And at every moment, his personal qualities appear newer and newer. Commentary. Since youth is a cause of beauty, Narad now takes the liberty to discuss the variety of ages in which Krishna performs his pastimes. No matter how old Krishna may be, he always has the special qualities of childhood: extreme gentleness, naughty behavior, absence of facial hair, and so on. Still, Krishna is always clever and skillful, like a mature young adult, and yet he always displays the qualities of a 15-year-old adolescent. With such an extraordinary combination of attractive features from all stages of young life, Krishna enchants his devotees more and more at every moment. Thus, attraction to Krishna never becomes stale, and those who see him are never satiated. Although Narad here mentions mature years, Yavana, Krishna doesn't appear in that age until after he leaves Vraj. In Vraj, Krishna appears in three ages. Kumara, from birth till the end of 5th year. Boganda, after 5 years up to the end of the 10th. And Kishora, after 10 years until the end of 15th. In both of the two earlier ages, he performs pastimes more appropriate to the latter, Kishore age, and then after killing the demon Kesi, he actually enters that age. For this reason, and because Narad is particularly attracted to Krishna at the Kishora age, Narad especially describes it.
Okay. So let me just go back. Sometimes in your reading, sometimes it's nice to look at the word for word. Sometimes we do that, and it can be quite nice, especially in verses like this. For instance, Vayecha Shat Shashva, pronounce that wrong, but Shobhaya Ashritam. So his charm, the age shelters his charm, and Sada, always Yovana of mature youth, so pastimes, Advatam, honored, Manogna, attractive, adolescent, Avalambitam, partaking of, Kriti Krishnam, at every moment, and especially this word here, like Nutanam, Nutanam, newer and newer, his qualities. Sometimes give you a good indication. It's good to break down the verse sometimes, helps you to appreciate it a bit more. So this is nature of Krishna. As we know, he's never gets old. The absence of facial hair, as Prabhupada would sometimes say, you never see Krishna with a beard. So yeah, it's just like, hopefully in our spiritual practices, if we're doing well, then it should be like it's increasing. It should be like we're appreciating the association of devotees more, should be. We're appreciating kirtan more. We're appreciating chanting more. We're appreciating festivals more. We're appreciating a service more. We're appreciating the darshan more. Yeah, ever increasing. This is the spiritual nature. It's ever increasing. And it's a direct opposite than the material nature. Yeah, it doesn't increase. it decreases if you hadn't noticed by now. It decreases because it's material, because it's not the absolute reality. It is defective. People are defective. I mean, I'm sure we'll know. That's our partners or wife or husband. It's not as if they get more beautiful. It's physically. You might appreciate them as a person, yeah. But then, physically speaking, it's not definitely. We are encaged in material bodies, and it's quite graphic and quite unpleasant. What happens to the material bodies in the material world, but in the spiritual world, it's different. Krishna never. The more you take darshan of Krishna, the more beautiful he becomes. And that just continues forever and ever. All right, Hare Krishna. Any comments on that? Hare Krishna. All right, you can read. Yeah, so you read that. So 113 now.
113.
Nava Yovanam. It's the name for Krishna, isn't it? Nava Yovanam. Eternally youthful. So here's the different ages are given. My Guru Maharaj speaks quite a lot about this. It gets quite technical. He describes it in quite some detail. Okay, so you can read on about 130.
Okay. What no one before had ever done, what he himself had never done under any pretext or in any circumstance, what till then had become impossible for anyone, all this he did in Vraj during his all-attractive childhood pastimes. Commentary. Of the topics listed in text 103, two remain to be discussed. Asia Mahatattva Madhuri, the sweetness of all his excellent qualities, and Vilasa Lakshmi, the splendor of his pastimes. Following the principle of Madhurena Samayapat, one should lead on a sweet note. Srila Sanatana prefers to save his description of Esha Mahatattva Madhuri for last. Thus he now enters the topic of Vilas Lakshmi. No person of the material world, not even Lord Brahma, Rudra, or any demigod, has ever done anything similar to the wonderful deeds Krishna performed in Vrindavan. Not even the Supreme Lord's other incarnations, including Sri Nrsimhadeva and Sri Ramacandra, have pastimes that can compare to Krishna's in Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, the Supreme Lord has never enacted those pastimes or even tried to make a show of imitating them. Before the Lord unveiled in Vrindavan his all-attractive childhood activities, he never so easily killed demons and distributed his pure devotional service.
And this is a small point here. It seems like this is Gopi Pranadana is giving some commentary here. It does say in the index of the book where he gives additions and commentary himself, because he says here, Srila Sanatana prefers to save his description of a Shesha Mahatattva. So it's obviously Gopi Pranadana. Yeah, so, okay, so extraordinary is the Leela and pastimes in Braj. What's the 5, could you call them excellences, that, is it 4 or 5, that distinguished Lord Krishna from Lord Narayan, given in the nectar of devotion? Specific qualities that Krishna has.
Playing the flute.
Venu Madhurya, yeah.
Leela Madhuri, Prem
Leela
Madhuri,
Madhurya, Prem Madhurya, yeah.
Rupa Madhuri.
Roop Madhuri, yes.
Oh,
Venu
yeah.
Madhuri and Roop Madhuri, yes. 4.
Yeah. So when it says he plays the flute, it's not just like, it sounds quite basic. He plays the flute, and Lord Narayan can't play the flute. But he can, but it's the effect that the flute has, and the effects it has on a different resonance of Vrndavana. So here we're hearing about being described his pastimes, yeah, his wonderful deeds Krishna performed in Vrindavan. So such pastimes are not to be found anywhere else. Yeah, not even in regards to Lord Nrsimhadeva, Lord Ramacandra even, etc. So the very very special is the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. Yeah. All right, you can continue.
Okay, all those pastimes are an ocean of nectar, and although my tongue is always eager to relish their sweetness, it is terrified of drowning in them. A person should never proceed with something impossible. Commentary. Here Narad shifts the blame for his rash eagerness to his uncontrollable tongue, but in fact, the greed to relish the rasa of Krishna's Vrindavan Leela is his own. Narad may think that his tongue is fearful of saying too much, either because it is incapable of speaking properly or because it is embarrassed to speak in front of others. Either way, in fact, it would be perfectly proper for his tongue to drown in the nectar ocean of Krishna's pastimes. Narad's speech is but poetic irony. His tongue is not at all ashamed of what it is about to do.
Right, so irony, he's being ironic here. Let's just look at the meaning of that. An expression of one's meaning by using language that normally signifies the opposite. Correct. So, expression of one's meaning by using language that normally signifies the opposite. Typically for humans, so it's a narrow money. Yeah, speaking in this way. And yeah, I was going to say something else, but I forgot. Yeah, okay. Okay, you can continue.
Okay. Text 115. Whose heart would not be stolen when he
Oh,
has
that's right. I just remember what I was going to say. Sorry. Remember when we was reading about Vaikuntha, and the details were quite amazing, isn't it? I think Bhagavatamrta you mentioned about it sounds quite attractive. Remember? Sounds quite attractive. And I was saying, wait, you wait till we hear about Vrindavan, you know? So now we're hearing the details and the sweetness and beauty of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So in comparison to the two, I think Bhaktivinoda Thakur in one place makes his comparison to the two. I think by Guru Maharaj in one book, then he quotes the description of Lord Vishnu as a meditation, then he gives a description of Krishna. Yeah. And then you have to then you make your comparison, which is the sweetest. So now we're entering, in one sense, we're entering to Goloka Vrindavan, at least to some degree, reading the words of Sanatana Goswami. So hopefully we become more attracted to Goloka rather than Vaikuntha, you know. All right.
You get to a point when you just want to get out. Then you think, okay, even this is better than here.
Even this,
you want to get out. But you might as well, what was it? I listened to something like slow and steady thing, you know. Steadily you'll get that.
yeah, slow and steady, day by day, hearing. Cleaning, day by day, Jaito Dapanam Marjanam. And that sweetness of Krishna will manifest. Yeah. Okay, we continue with 115.
Okay. Whose heart would not be stolen when he is drunk, even once through his ear holes, the nectar of all those pastimes? My tongue therefore wants to proceed, and its restlessness no longer lets me maintain my shyness. Text 116. At the age of 3 months, Krishna lay under a large cart and broke it with his tender foot, and then he cried for breast milk. On 2 occasions, he showed his mother the whole universe within his mouth. Commentary. In text 116 to 137, Narad summarizes many of the pastimes of Krishna described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyone who wants more details about these pastimes can consult the greatest of scriptures. The first major pastime, the deliverance of Putana, Narad has already mentioned while glorifying Krishna's merciful nature. The summary begins, therefore, with the breaking of the cart. The cart that infant Krishna was lying under was a large one, as indicated here by the word. What is the word? Shutulam? I don't know.
Something like that. That's all right. Stulam. Yeah.
Okay. As Sukadeva Goswami describes, it was so big that several strong cowherd men were needed to lift it up again after Krishna had knocked it down. The strong, stout cowherd men assembled the pots and paraphernalia on the handcart and set it up as before. Bhagavatam.
Yeah, what's the name of this demon? It was a demon either manifest as a car or there is a demon.
Shakatasur.
Shakatasura. Yeah,
Shakatasur.
heart demon, Shakatasura. So as a little toddler, a little toddler who's on his back, his feet are kicking in the air. Krishna killed this Satakasura. Did Bhagavad Krishna, did Satakasura, was he actually the cart? Or was he?
He was a demon, but he didn't have a physical body, but he had a ghostly body. And he sat on the Shakata, on the bell gadi under which Krishna was lying in his bed.
And he was trying. Go on.
And then Krishna kicked it because Krishna realized people couldn't see him because he was a ghost. But Krishna knew. And he kicked the Shakata so hard that the demon fell away and the Shakata broke. I don't know what's Shakata called in English, but it's a bullock cart.
Yeah, okay. All right, so thank you for that detail. Yes, so he was a ghost. Then he got killed as a ghost.
He had a ghost body because of some curse. And he was told that when Krishna kicks you, you will be delivered.
Curse, stroke, blessing. Okay, he continued.
After his miraculous deed of knocking down the cart, Krishna cried for his mother to come and feed him her milk. It is amazing to contemplate that a person with such unequaled power can also cry for his mother's breast milk. And from another point of view, it is amazing also that Krishna dared ask his mother for milk after destroying the cart that was virtually the most valuable possession of the household. Baby Krishna twice showed Mother Yashoda the universe within his mouth, once while drinking from her breast, and again after she accused him of eating dirt. How much more amazing it is then that a person who can perform such miracles can also cry for his mother's milk. Although after the killing of the Vrndavana demon, Mother Yashoda Mother Yashoda had visions of the universal form within Krishna's mouth on 2 different occasions. They are mentioned together in this verse to highlight how wonderful it is that this powerful Krishna was crying helplessly for milk. Krishna's Gokul Vrindavan pastimes are supremely splendid and charming because they combine the ultimate display of God's power with the ultimate display of his sweetness.
Okay, can you read another verse if you like?
Okay, yeah, text 117. May you be protected by his pastimes of killing Vrndavana and crawling around in charming ways and stealing butter and yogurt to satisfy the gopis. Commentaries. The pronouns ya, sa, those very same imply that these pastimes are extremely famous, extremely amazing, and extremely attractive. Sri Narad prays that these pastimes protect Gopakumar, protect him from all kinds of fear, and perhaps from becoming too bewildered by the ecstasy that arising from hearing the pastimes of Krishna's infancy. Narad Muni's presentation now focuses on the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. He skips mentioning pastimes that do not highlight this sweetness, such as the name-giving ceremony performed by Garga Rishi. Krishna did not do anything special in their pastime, in which Garga told Narada and Yashoda of Krishna's glories.
All right, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Krishna's pastimes of there's so many pastimes. We have a main place for pastimes is the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, that Sukadeva Goswami spoke to Maharaj Parikshit. Also, our Goswamis also wrote and revealed so many wonderful pastimes as well, unlimited pastimes. So there's so much to and also Narada Muni, he's a prema bhakta, so he's really appreciating, he's really becoming intoxicated and appreciating as he's speaking about these pastimes. Yeah. Right, someone else would like to read from 118?
I can read if
Go
nobody.
ahead. Yes, go ahead.
118.
Yes.
May I be protected by the clever glances he cast at his mother in apparent fear when the gopis complained to her, by the delight he showed in eating dirt, and by the games he played while his mother churned yogurt. Commentary. Like an ordinary child, Krishna exposed his fear by glancing quickly from side to side. Shri Narad has already described that when Mother Yashoda rebuked Krishna for eating dirt, he showed her the universe within his mouth. After that pastime, Srimad Bhagavatam continues with a glorification of Nanda and Yashoda's good fortune. But in that narration, Krishna is not active, so Narad does not refer to it. Next comes the all-auspicious Damodar Leela, described in this and the following two texts. Narad did mention this pastime earlier, but only briefly to help illustrate how Krishna submits himself to the control of his devotees. While Mother Yashoda churned yogurt, baby Krishna would play such pranks as holding on to the churning rod. Text 119. The Lord's crying, he's breaking the yogurt pots, he's stealing fresh butter from storage pots hanging from the ceiling. He's running away in fear of his mother, and he's restlessly looking about with fear in his eyes are all very wonderful. Text 120. May my mind be enchanted by his dragging the motor to which his mother had tied him with ropes around his belly, by his felling the
Felling means
Arjun trees, and by his bestowing a benediction, even while tied in that way. Commentary. While still bound tightly to the motor with the strong ropes used to bind cows, Krishna graciously blessed the reformed sons of Kuvera. Quote, O Nala Kuvera Manigriva, now you may both return home, since you desire to be always absorbed in my devotional service. Your desires to develop love and affection for me will be fulfilled. And now you will never fall from that platform. Bhagavatam 10:10-42. Text 121. While tending the calves and playing in the Vrindavan forest, he killed Vatsa and Baka. He adorned himself in the forest dress and imitated the sounds of the animal. May that first guru in the art of flute playing protect me. Commentary. Krishna performed his earliest pastime just described by Narad in the forest called Mahavan. This verse begins the description of this pastime in the largest of Raj's 12 forests, Vrindavan. Narad calls Krishna the Adi Guru of the flute player because it was during these pastimes that Krishna perfected the art of playing the flute. While in the forest, Krishna and his friends would collect the peacock feathers, gunja berries, and other items with which Krishna would be decorated. Text 122. I worship the pastime he performed in the early morning when he entered the Vrindavan forest with his calves and friends, most relishable pastimes, such as entering the mouth of a great serpent after pondering in various ways. Commentary. On what began as a typical cow grazing morning, the mighty demon Aga, in the form of gigantic snake, confronted Krishna's coward friends. The boys, having decorated themselves with festive forest attire, were in a very playful mood. After amusing themselves by stealing one another's lunch bags and teasing the monkeys and other animals, they were looking for another game when they spotted Aga lying on the path with his gaping mouth, inviting them to enter. Krishna watched helplessly as they marched into the demon's mouth, and he began to think, now what is to be done? How can both the killing of this demon and the saving of the devotees be performed simultaneously? Krishna, being unlimitedly potent, decided to wait for an intelligent means by which he could simultaneously save the boys and kill the demon. Then he entered the mouth of Agasura. Bhagavatam 10:12-28. These pastimes are filled with all the different rasas of loving exchanges, and thus they enchant the heart of whoever hears them.
Yeah, I guess these pastimes we're all familiar with, hopefully. They all come from Krishna book. Yes. Let's just keep on reading, I guess, and hearing them. Nice to be reminded of them.
Text 1, 2, 3. My mind is utterly enchanted by the Lord's pastime of taking lunch on the grassy shore of a lake and then going off to search for calves. His hand adorned with a lump of rice mixed with yogurt. Commentary. Lord Brahma wanted to test Krishna's greatness, so when Krishna left his friends during lunch to go into the dense forest to find the wandering calves, Brahma took the opportunity to kidnap the calves and the coward boys as well. Krishna had just taken from a friend's plate a lump of yogurt rice and was still carrying it when he went looking for the calves. Sukdev Goswami says, he was holding in his left hand a very nice preparation of yogurt and rice with suitable fruits between his fingers.
Yeah, I've heard it, one devotee described it, I've heard it somewhere that this was an issue for Lord Brahma. Because, you know, because we eat with what hand do we eat?
Right hand, and Krishna.
Right hand, yeah. And this is supposed to be the Supreme Lord, and he's doing something smoochy. He's holding it in his left hand. Only we don't, you know, we eat with a right hand. It was mentioned like that. That's part of the Brahma's bewilderment. Brahma Vimohan Leela. And then anyway, just to mention that when all the pastime was finished, when Krishna again, he unmanifested all the Vishnu forms and he became Krishna again. He still had that yogurt and rice in his hand, as if nothing had happened. Brahma was completely astonished. Yeah, Krishna manifested all the Vishnu forms and all the elements and all the hundreds of thousands of sages and demigods were worshipping all the different Vishnu forms. It was a whole, a very, let's say, astounding manifestation of the opulences of Vishnu. Then they all went into the body of Krishna, and Krishna was sat there smiling, exactly as before when it happened. He had these, still had the rice and yogurt in his right hand, no, in his left hand.
And
And Krishna was smiling very charmingly. That's when Brahma then hit the deck. We begin to offer prayers to Lord Brahma. Prayers to Lord Krishna coming from Lord Brahma. Oh, it's mentioned here. Oh, kind of. All right. Okay, carry on.
let me go and search for the calves, Krishna said. Don't disturb your enjoyment. Then, carrying his yogurt and rice in his hand, the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna, immediately went out to search for the calves of his friends. To please his friends, he began searching in all the mountains, bushes, mountain caves, and narrow passages. Bhagavatam 10, 13, 14.
Yeah, and here it says what I just was mentioning, so I should have been a bit patient because it comes up right here. Go on.
In fact, Krishna was still holding this morsel in his hand a year later when Brahma came to apologize. Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, you are the only worshipable Lord, the Supreme Person of Godhead, and therefore I offer my humble obeisances and prayers just to please you. O son of King of Cowards, your transcendental body is dark blue like a new cloud. Your garment is brilliant like lightning, and the beauty of your face is enhanced by your gunja earrings and the peacock feather on your head. Wearing garlands of various forest flowers and leaves, and equipped with a herding stick, a buffalo horn, and a flute, you stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand." Bhagavatam 10, 14, 1.
Yeah, we always dress Krishna in a stick, isn't it? Krishna always has a stick here under the throat. And, bugle. I dressed when I was dressing today. Was it today I put the bugle on?
Yes.
Anyone can remember?
Silver.
Yeah, silver. We have a beautiful new silver bugle for Krishna. I put it up today. So we dress Krishna like it's described here. Except we don't put yogurt and rice in his hand.
I always make that every right book, yogurt and yogurt rice. So
Yeah, obviously Krishna likes it.
yeah, I just chunks it with cashew nuts and curry leaves and then yogurt, stir it, and then rice. Anyway.
All right. So yes. Do you mind if I have a read the last few minutes?
Yeah, please.
Okay. 1, 2, 4. Who can describe the charm of those pastimes which bewildered even Brahma when he saw them? Krishna himself assumed the forms of the calves and cowherd boys, and yet he went to search for his friends and calves like an innocent child. This pastime is doubly bewildering. Sorry, I've always got stuff going on. It's doubly bewildering. Krishna does something possible only for the supreme mystic, yet he acts like a naive child. Narada Muni feels so charmed by this pastime that he doubts his ability to describe it. 1, 2, 5. Lord Brahma came to understand better than anyone else the special glories of Gokula, the abode of all those pastimes. So with great respect he praised the Supreme Lord, who embodies the exalted tastes of pure love in Vraj. He praised the Supreme Lord, who embodies the exalted tastes of pure love in Vraj. Commentary. Brahma's defeat by Krishna in their match of wits not only humbled Brahma, but also elevated him in understanding of Krishna's pastimes in Gokula. So much so that Narada calls him Mahatmya Vishesha Vitama, the best of those who know the special glories of Gokula. So Mahatma Vishesha Vittama. We find evidence of Brahma's understanding in his solemn prayers to Krishna. Well, my greatest possible good fortune will be to take birth, whatever, to take any birth, whatever, in this forest of Gokula, and have my head bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any one of its residents. Their entire life and soul is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mukunda, the dust of whose lotus feet is still being searched for in the Vedic mantras. Unquote. Brahma became qualified to praise Krishna's Brahma became qualified to praise Krishna suitably by realizing him as the reservoir of all ecstatic moods of Raj Prema. In many verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Sukadeva Goswami expertly describes those varieties of rasa. For example, quote, the mothers of the boys, upon hearing the sounds of the flutes and bugles being played by their sons, immediately rose from their household tasks, lifted their boys onto their laps, embraced them with both arms, and began to feed them with their breast milk, which flowed forth because of extreme love, specifically for Krishna. Actually, Krishna is everything, but at that time, expressing extreme love and affection, they took special pleasure in feeding Krishna, the Para Brahman, and Krishna drank the milk from his respective mothers as if it were a nectarian beverage. Unquote. Brahma himself also very competently describes these rasas in his prayers. Well, O Almighty Lord, how greatly fortunate are the cows and ladies of Vrindavan, the nectar of whose breast milk you have happily drunk to your full satisfaction, taken the form of their calves and children. All the Vedic sacrifices performed from time immemorial up to the present day have not given you as much satisfaction. Let's 7 o'clock, but let's read another verse. Well, it's only a small one. So please worship the wonderful pastimes the Lord enacted, such as tending the cows, honoring his elder brother, glorifying the beauty of Vrndavana, and imitating the singing of the bees. Commentary. This verse begins the recounting of Krishna's Polganda Leela, the pastimes of years 6 through 10. Besides imitating the bees, Krishna and his friends would also imitate the chatting of parrots, call out in deep voices to the distant cows, and enjoy naps on beds of soft leaves. So just, how do you imitate a bee? I guess you run around. I guess you run around going bee. Imagine all the cowboy boys doing that, all running around and bee, going left, going right, running round and round in circles like bees do. So they're very erratic. So they're probably running around, probably bumping into each other, going bee. Having a great time, in other words, with Krishna. All right. Thank you, everyone, for giving us an opportunity to hear and read these wonderful pastimes of Krishna. So let's continue next week to hear more about his pastimes through 6 to 10. All Ganta Leela. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a wonderful devotional weekend.
Hare
Cool.
Krishna.
Look forward to our Krishna Katha again next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
Devadanda ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Premanande.